Hello, my name is Max and welcome to another episode of Tabletop Reviews. Today I'm having a look at Parks, a game from Keymaster Games, all about going around the national parks of the United States, visiting those, taking pictures. This is actually a game that I got, one of the first ones I got when I first got into board gaming, because I watched the Dice Tower's top 10 relaxing games that talked about parks here, and it very much sounded interesting to me. It's all about visiting national parks. I love animals and love nature. Perfect for me. Let's get it to the table, see how it's set up and how it's played. Alright, let's get this game set up. Have a look at the gameplay. Move this and taking out the top here. It's the rule books. You might need those. Then you have these two first. Just kind of place them in ways. I'm going to move these one so that there's one close to every player. I'm going to set this up for 2 players, of course. This one should be set up in sort of a neutral way so everybody can sort of read it. Go. Then you have a whole bunch of cards that needs to go in there. So you have, first you have all of these cards here. They go in this space here. Shuffle them up. Place them down. Flip over the top 3 cards. And you can sort of turn it around so you can actually read it. We'll get to what those are in just a second. You have this here, which is actually a pile of 3 different kinds of card here. This one is it's either a solo thing or something I haven't read up on. I don't know the rules for these ones. I believe they're solo. Anyways, these ones here you can shuffle them. I'm just like, I would say shuffle them up, of course, but like I'm not just going to do it. Then you have the trail end and the trail beginning, and then you grab the ones you're gonna need. So the ones that have just this arrow symbol right here, that and nothing else, those are the starting ones you put out here. You have one here with a 4+. Can I get it to focus here? 4+, that's of course only used if you're 4 or more. I'm setting this up for 2 players. And you have the ones with an asterisk. These are special. You can sort of shuffle them up, put them face down over here, just saving them for a little bit later in the game. And I take these ones, do a quick shuffle of them, and place them out from the beginning all the way to the end. You can also do start and reverse order. I honestly don't really care, as long as it just looks like this at the end. Then you have the big ass cards here. These are the park cards. Parks, of course. And you will place them right here and flip over the top 3 cards here just to show them. Yellowstone National Park. Alright, now let's get to the player setup. So each player will take some these hikers. You get 2. The same color, of course. And you put them on the starting trail here. Then each player will take a campfire in the color of your hikers. Take them to your side here. Each player will take 1 of these cantinas and place them next to there. Then you choose a starting player who gets the starting player token. I'm just gonna put it here. The other player gets this one. If you're doing a 2-player, I believe in a multiplayer setup, it is the second player who gets the camera, or it is the last. I would have to read up on the rules, but you also have to do some work. I can't give you everything. And then you shuffle these up here. These ones, background, year-end cards, and give 1 for each. Some of these cards might enable you to get more, so keep them close by. These are year-end goals to try and achieve. Top one, you get 2 points, the bottom one, you get 3 points. Achieve that and you get some extra points at the end, right? Simple, keep it secret. Alright, so let's get to the gameplay. Basically, to start off a year, or no, a round which is consistent of a season, so to speak. Flip over one of these cards here, which gives you the season of snow. This is the seasons 1. You gain 1 water if you gain any mountains on your turn. And you have this one, sun, water, water. This is something you're going to put down here. So sun, water, water, sun, and you can only put 1 water. Alright. So the starting player takes one of his hikers and moves it as far as he wants from trail start towards trail end. You can just jump all the way down immediately if you wanted to, or you can make a stop along the way to gain anything. Let's say he lands here, all right, on this one. Then he gains a mountain because there's a symbol here, and there's a water on it, so he gains that as well. One water, one mountain. Then you remember the season thing, and he gains an extra water. Now this is just for this season. It will change with every season. Bang. Then the next player goes. He takes his marker and moves it to wherever he wants to go. Maybe go here. If he wants to land on the same space as the other hiker here, right? He would have to put out his fire. So you do that once per turn. And then he also gets a mountain and of course a water, because you gain one water per mountain. Bam. Now continue until one player chooses to put his hiker at the end here. Moving along. Then the first one puts it here, gets the first player token, and gets to reservate any park that he wants. You can take this one, put it like next to or something to show this one is mine to purchase whenever I have the opportunity to purchase a park. This could be something like Yellowstone because it's fairly expensive, you know, takes 3 trees and 4 suns. So it could be something that you try and save up to this one by reservating it right there. And the next player that goes in gets to choose between landing on this one or the bottom one. The top one, if you're the first player there, you get to purchase any of these ones down here. Yes. For 1 sun less. So up here in the top right, you can see there what they cost. This one costs 3. This one costs 1. So these two cost 1. You could get any of those for free, or get this one for 2 suns. So you might grab one of these for free, then you have it, and it gives you an ability. This one is buy any of these ones. They cost 1 sun less, no matter what. The next player comes in, and you could choose to go to the bottom one here, which is purchasing a park, but you have to buy it outright, and we don't have the tokens for that. You could just purchase one of these if you wanted to, or you could reserve a park. Again, taking any of these ones, putting it at the side. Yes. Now it's then the end of the first season here, the first turn. This person has just come over here, whatever. Oh right. I could just quickly take the cantina here. So each of these ones has an ability. This one is make 1 token a wild or reserve a park. You put a water on the thing here and use it. It's a once per turn use. So let's say he did that just to make his other water a wild. And the wild are lovely. These little one cutouts as different animals. Really awesome. Anyways, it's now the end of the turn. The player with the camera gets to make 1 token into 1 picture. And I believe on the final round you get to do it twice. Basically 1 picture equals 1 point, so you make 1 token into 1 point. It's fairly simple. So yeah, I would always try to do that, because if you have that token, it's very nice to have. Yes. Then you reset. You take all your hikers here, take them back to the starting spot here. You reignite your fire if you put it out. You empty your cantina into storage. You don't put it into your own. Any of these ones that weren't chosen gets removed. These ones here, you take them out, the trail bits here, and you take one of these ones and add to it. Give them a quick shuffle. You put them up once again. Let's see which one gets added. This one gets added. That one, yay! It's the one I don't fully understand. There's a rule book explaining it, but I would have to read it every time it comes up, because it's difficult for me to understand for some reason. And then you just start again. You of course take a new one of these ones, put this one on the bottom, flip over the next one, which now is gain a water if you gain any trees. And this time it's water, sun. So you put that out and you go again and you play 4 rounds. Then you've completed a year, because 4 seasons. And at the end of this year, you then count up every picture with 1 point. All your parks have a point value right here, so you get that one. And of course, you get points if you've completed your year, bonus year. And then whoever has the most amount of points win. It's fairly simple, beautiful game. Let's talk about it. There we go. That is the settlement gameplay. Fun fact, it actually took me 2 tries to record that part of the video because I messed up my words and messed up remembering the game. I actually confused the game of Parks for Trails for a little bit, the small box version of it. I was just stupid. So I had to re-record it, of course, so you get a pleasant viewing experience and I actually learn how to play the game. Just because I mess up, yeah. But Parks, the game of Parks, where are we at with that one? I like the gameplay of Parks. You have your hikers, you're moving around this trail as much as you want to, but do you want to skip right ahead and get towards the ending, or get very few resources? Do you want to get a lot of resources? It very much depends. So we have me and my girlfriend play a lot of board games together, and what we'll sometimes do when playing Parks, at least in the start, you just go through the entire track and taking every single resource, but you're ahead of each other. And then once we've gone that, we've taken every other resource, then get the last resource. Because we're ridiculous like that, we just follow each other. But of course, that's not the purpose of the game. Moving along here, getting towards the end. Like at the end, you know, first one there gets the first play token, so you sacrificed more in your turn, so you get to start the next turn. And then you have a choice between your run reserve. Do you want to purchase this one at a little bit discount if you're the first one, or do you want to purchase a park? If I would say something about that, purchasing packs, a lot of them are quite expensive, and I feel like you should be lucky if you can buy a pack within the first round. That's sort of my stance on that one. Especially if you're at a higher play count, of course, that comes later. But you would be lucky if you could buy a pack in the first round. So that's a little bit. Maybe we could change that a little bit. But yeah, the seasonal objectives are of course awesome. Some of them really help you out in the first rounds, and some of them really in the second rounds. But you can be unlocking, get some for the first rounds. There's one where you get parks at a 1 sun discount or something. In the first round, that could help you, but it could also just be null and void because you have something that costs 3 wood, a water, and 2 suns. Okay, then it's 3 wood, 1 water, and a sun. How am I going to get 3 wood in the first round, right? Or something along those lines. So some could help you, some couldn't. That's a little bit about the luck aspect to the game, of course. Sun and water being the thing you get the most of throughout the game. What else? Yes, the equipment is nice. The little lines down there that cuts the sun. I think they're very nice, and they fit with the pricing. The more expensive ones do more for you. The cheaper ones don't do as much, but still definitely help you out more than not having them. And you have then the 2 aspects of once per season, or per turn, per round I should say. The fireplace to land on the same spot. That's a nice addition. You can't land on the same spots. You want to go first, or be patient till someone moves away from that spot you want to land on. Or you could also be smart and be, you know, the first player and land on a picture, take a picture, and have the camera for the end round. It is, as I say, the camera gives you, every picture gives you a point, so that could be you trying to save up points doing that, but that could sacrifice other things to do in return. Something to discuss about. So the fireplace is a good idea, and it sort of and it has the effect I think they wanted from it is you think about where you land, because people can't just land there. You can block some people off, and then you think about which one you move, because you have 2 hikers. Which one do you move? And the cantinas, again, a one-time ability, which it isn't super overpowered, but it is, some of them are strong enough that I can see the reason behind it doing once per turn. Some things I dislike a little bit. Well, one thing is you have 2 hikers. I think that makes, as I say, blocking on the camera thing and stuff. I don't necessarily think blocking your opponents for more turns, longer turns, isn't necessarily a good thing. And having 2 hikers means that you can very much, like, you can do that, or you can sacrifice one of them without losing a whole bunch. So I would say, you know, if you only had 1 hiker, or maybe one of the hikers could move, you know, only twice. One of them has like a hat on or something, and you can only move that one twice, just limiting it a little bit. That is, if you ask me, that would be far interesting and a better usage of the hikers, just because you are more willing to sacrifice one of your hikers when you have the other one. You know, just get to the ending and get the first player token, get to the camera, take pictures, and just hold that, because you force people to use the campfire, and you can save your character for the end or something. You know, you're more willing to do that when you have two hikers, and I think that leaves something to decide in the gameplay, so to speak. Yeah. Well, the parks, I think overall the parks are a little bit too expensive. But that's just about what I have complained of the parks cards. They're a little bit too expensive, take a little bit a lot. But some of them are not expensive, you know. But overall. But otherwise than that, I don't have many complaints about the gameplay. I like it. I like that you add a little bit layer every round, just to make it a bit longer. That's very interesting. You don't know what comes, so you can't really plan ahead. It is a sort of a surprise to that one, and that is a good thing. Some games really are good because you can plan ahead. Some games like this one are good because you can't 100% plan ahead. You can't think every turn ahead, which I like. You can plan your turn for this round here. You can't plan every round ahead. I like that. I like that aspect of it. So yeah. Components wise in this game, they are amazing, and I want to say this is just a retail version. It is not even a retail deluxe version. This is regular as retail version. There's nothing deluxeified. This is everything. If you go out and buy this game, you're going to get this copy, and I think that's amazing. It's not that expensive. It's not much more expensive than just to take a try it, and you get these amazingly wooden cut components. You know, the wild tokens. I didn't show you them, but they all add different animals. They are absolutely stunningly beautiful. Absolutely great. You have a metal first person token. That's a rarity to get that in just a retail version. Wow. And the cardboard components are perfectly fine for the amount you do it. The campfires, the camera, the pictures you take. You don't have those in your hand for too long. They're still nice and thick and durable, and you still very much want to use them. Cardboard. The cards are good quality. A little bit on the thinner side of the big box card, but other than that they're good quality, and when you're talking about components, I think artwork in this game is the most important component. The artwork is absolutely stunning. I'm showing you the cover here. Honestly, the cover don't do it justice. You have to see the sides. You have this side, the bears here. You have this river going down the canyon. There's a deer in here. I hope you can see it properly, and then some waterfall here. These sides very much make a difference. They're all, by the way, from packs cards in the game. Every single thing you see here, very much those sides make more just than this one, because I don't think any of these pictures are supposed to be viewed as big as poster on your wall. They're supposed to remember this picture on your phone or a camera or on your computer. Just this little picture of, this was my trip, this is what I saw, this is amazing, this is beautiful. And the small little pictures you take are snippets of the parks, right? And then just capturing that moment. There's one where it's like a goat staring at you in the snow, and it's beautiful. And just the artwork of this game is amazing. And that alone is a reason I would want to have it on the table. Is the artwork. It's so amazing. And the components, the woodcut components, amazing, beautiful components. The main part where the cards are on, you might have noticed, it sort of flops up. And that's a bit annoying, because you have even the path you go on and trails, beautiful artwork, illustrates parts of where you're going beautifully, and you just have this little thing that just goes very, very annoying when you look at everything as a whole. That is so annoying that it's there. Beautiful, beautiful game, absolutely beautiful game. And it is a retail version I have right here. I just went online and bought this one. It's not a Kickstarter exclusive, it's not a deluxe version, it's just retail version. I think that is incredibly amazing to see what they do here. It reminds you, sorry about that, reminds you sort of Garfield Games, who do the West Kingdom and the North Sea trilogies. Everything you can get from them is a retail version. You can buy some extra promos, but you can always get a hold of them. There's nothing exclusive, there's nothing deluxe. It is just retail versions, and the components quality in there is amazing. It's the same here, just a retail version, amazing quality, just amazing. So the theme, how does the shine theme parks? Well, it goes through in everything. You are visiting all these different parks. Every single bit of artwork is from one of these different parks. Where I kind of get off is you're on this journey, you're walking, you have a hiker who's walking, and you're visiting a national park in Alaska, then in Arizona, then in freaking Yellowstone, which is as far away from Arizona, I can't fully remember where it is, but you're jumping around these places that you may take 2 pictures in turn, one from the west coast, one from the east coast. But you're a hiker, right? So that takes me a little bit out of it because you're going around all over the freaking place as a hiker. With, you know, maybe it makes sense because it is supposed to be within a year you visit all these places, but it's still sort of like, it takes me a little bit out of it. But then again, would it have been as amazing if it was just one national park? I don't think it would. I think it needs to be all the national parks. It's amazing. I still love this game, I have to say. So my rating, well, no, we have to do, does it lie to you first? 1 to 5 players, ages 10 and up, 40 to 70 minutes. Now, I promised to talk to you about the player count. 2 to 3, I never play solo, again, I don't know solo gameplay, that's not for me. 2 to 3 players is where we played. We've played a lot 2 players, we've played some 3 players, but that's definitely where I prefer it at, 2 to 3 players. Because you have your hikers, you don't get as much in each other's. Oh my god! You don't get as much in each other's way in a 2 to 3 player game. There's room for everybody. You feel satisfied at the end of the game, even overly satisfied because you have that extra hiker. But at the 4 to 5, even though there is one more trail thing on it, it gets very much more congested. Because what you need to remember is you have twice the amount of hikers. So at 2 there's 4 hikers, at 3 there's 6 hikers, at 4 there's 8 hikers, and at 5 there's 10 hikers. And you can a little bit feel at 3 there's many hikers out at the same time, but at 5 so many hikers out at the same time, depending on how you're playing, getting there first. Because you can legitimately get there to the ending zone as the 8th hiker or something, right? If you choose to be out for a longer while of time. Or you can be forced to go in before you want to because everything's filled up, you don't want to use your campfire yet. So that takes me a little bit out of it. And I know, you know, technically there's only 5 players, but it gets very congested, you get in each other's way, it gets more annoying. And I don't think that's what this game is at. As I say, I saw this in top 10 relaxing games, and at 2 to 3 players you have this relaxing, nice game. You can enjoy the artwork, enjoy each other's company. At 4 to 5 you sit there and getting more and more annoyed throughout it. I still really like it. I would still play it if we were 4 or if we were 5, but I would prefer it at 2 or 3. Ages 10 and up. So this one is always the one that's the most difficult to talk about, because 10-year-olds that I know, I don't know many, but the 10-year-olds that I know, would they be capable of playing this game? I don't, maybe not. Well, actually my cousin who's 10, he's looking at a lot of chess videos, he understands chess very thoroughly, so perhaps he would be capable of. But the thing is, I would take into account is there's not much text. A lot of it is symbols, and the little bit of text there is you can always translate because there's no really secret cards. Of course, except your secret objectives. So that would make it a little bit more difficult if you have troubles reading and understanding. But definitely reading and understanding would not be a complete hindrance to play this game. You can play without the secret goals until they learn to read them properly. That's not a big deal, I would say. So around 10-ish, I would say, is when you can start to introduce this game, because of the lack of a lot of text. Time, 40 to 70 minutes. About an hour, I would say, yeah. Hour, plus minus a couple minutes. Yeah, that sounds very reasonable if you know the game. If you don't know the game, I would probably add 30 minutes to this kind of game here, just because there's going to be questions. But about an hour plus, give or take. And I would say it's fairly accurate. One thing I want to say is, I love this right here. This strip right here. Just its parks, Keys Master Games, 59 parks. Henry Audubon, the designer, whatever, and then the time and stuff. It's a very lovely thing, of course, when it's set, and it's even here. So when you put it on a shelf, because you're going through the store and something, parks and information, okay, this fits me, let's have a look at it. Yeah, it's only on this side here, but it's fine, it's a beautiful side, so you could definitely use that. So I really like that. That's a good touch to the box. The Key Master Games here, they know what they're doing. I have to say, they know what they're doing. Alright. So, my score for this game would be a 9 out of 10. as I say, there are these few annoyances to me: the player count and the multiple hikers you can get in your choice ways and stuff. So it's going to be a 9 out of 10, not the perfect game, but it is really still really good game, and I'm definitely keen on this game. I have one of the expansions, the Nightfall expansion, and I know there is the Wildlife expansion as well. I really want to get a hold of that one, play it, and then like do a double feature of both the expansions for parks, talk about everything of them. I've already played Nightfall, but I won't talk about that right here. This is all about parks. It's a beautiful, amazing game, and it is staying in collection for the foreseeable future. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I will see you in the next one. Bye!